From pre-K to college bound, certain concerns are universal for families as their students return to class.
We're making, in some cases, life decisions.
Tonight, we are looking at how districts are stepping up to keep your children safer while they learn.
And we're diving into the pressures of school, making sure your family has the tools you need to protect your students' mental health.
I mean, when you have kids, you're always looking for ways to understand them better.
During this hour, you'll hear from educators across Southeast Texas answering your questions as the new school year begins. So now, let's get you classroom ready.
And good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us as we all get ready for back to school. I'm Daniela Guzman.
And I'm Camberell Marshall. KPRC 2 is dedicated to make sure families across Southeast Texas are classroom ready. Some students have already had their first day of school this year. Others are getting ready to head back to the classroom in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and back to school, it can be very stressful, overwhelming. We're going through this and you've been through it for sure. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to remember, and a lot to think about. And some of those things that keep us up at night, the safety and the security of our schools, of our kiddos, the health and wellness of the kids as well, finances. These are issues that affect every single family in some way. And tonight, we are giving you the tools that you need to make this year a success.
We begin with your child's safety and security in the classroom. The results of a critical school safety audit were released this summer.
That's right, and if you would you'd like to hope and you'd like to think that our kids are safe while they're in school, but as we all know too well, we do have to have these tough conversations surrounding school safety or lack of security in some cases at our schools. This safety audit we're talking about was ordered after the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. KPRC2 investigator Robert Arnold takes us inside what he found out.
The audit was done by the Texas School Safety Center, and it involved 7,200 campuses across the state. The point was to check whether intruders could gain access to schools. One test was to have someone actually try to get into a school undetected. Good news. 95.6% of inspectors were not able to gain unauthorized access to schools, and 86% of schools did have exterior doors locked. However, 44% of campuses did not have either written or verbal policies regarding the closing and locking of classroom doors. We know from the Uvalde school shooting, the door to the classroom where the majority of children were murdered did not have a working lock. Making sure broken locks are fixed immediately is part of creating a safety culture on campus. We spoke with Mike Matranga, a retired Secret Service agent and former executive director of security for Texas City ISD. One immediate change he made was to take those employees responsible for fixing locks out of maintenance and put them under the direct supervision of security.
The maintenance did, the landscaping, the AC, the roofing, the parking lots, all the stuff that would require maintenance workers. We took the locksmiths and the guys that operated and manipulated and worked on the locks, put them under our direct supervision because that fell more under the responsibility of the security department.
One thing that was created after Uvalde was a new Office of School Safety. That's under the umbrella of the Texas Education Agency. And right now, staff from that office are traveling to various school districts to help improve policies, procedures, and create a more safety-minded culture. One of the other things the audit did uncover was 31% of campuses that were tested did not verify a person's ID through a national database to ensure they were not a potential threat.
Thank you to Robert Arnold for that report. As lawmakers, school districts, and parents focus on eliminating danger from school campuses, there's one aspect that has not been thoroughly examined. It's a potentially deadly threat the KPRC2 investigator Mario Diaz first revealed 5 years ago. Tonight, he reveals what has been changed since his first report.
A red flag of danger.
This is how law enforcement views buildings that you and I have seen on Houston area school campuses for decades, even though
they're not permanent structures.
At least this is how they have been sold to students, parents, and teachers.
I was in a temporary classroom for over 5 years.
They're known as trailers, portables, or even
we used to call them the shacks.
School districts prefer modular classrooms. Call them what you will, many want them gone.
If I was a school administrator or a superintendent of a district, I would be doing everything in my power to get rid of modular classrooms.
There are several reasons, but the primary in recent years, the safety of those inside.
What should I be asking if my child goes into a trailer classroom?
I can tell you exactly because I'm a parent. Although my children are out of school, I would be asking, is this safe? What are the safety protocols if we have an active shooter or someone with a gun that comes on? What's going to happen in this trailer? What's going to happen with my child?
KPRC2 Investigates first exposed the deadly potential in 2018, following the deadly rampage at Santa Fe High School where 10 people were killed.
It's not designed to be bulletproof.
A local modular building company said safety features can be enhanced, but at a price.
How much you want to pay? How much can you afford?
That's the question.
And then it goes back to just a standard classroom because that's what they can afford.
The question of funding still exists 5 years later as more safety measures are being rolled out. School marshals and guardian programs, mandatory security window film on windows and glass doors, detailed active shooter plans, and a properly trained peace officer on every campus are just some of the steps being taken. As lawmakers, it may allocated over $1 billion towards school safety, but nothing specifically for portables.
That poses a problem, Mario. That poses a problem.
Democratic State Senator Boris Miles is a lawmaker and the parent of a middle schooler.
I think the most important issue is the material of the building.
Across the aisle, Republican State Senator Paul Betancourt says the danger is easy to identify.
Everybody on the ground recognizes that there could be a problem someday.
We take it for granted that that's just another classroom. We don't see it as a safety issue. We like to think that the wolf is not going to come knocking on our door at our campus. But it could happen, and if it does happen, it's going to have deadly consequences.
Mario Diaz, KPRC2 Investigates.
An important conversation to have, Mario. Thank you. All right, it has been over a year since the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde happened. In that time, districts nationwide, including Southeast Texas, have really focused on preventing active shooters from getting inside of those classrooms and what to do if one does enter the campus. Now, some of the districts are using door blocking devices. They are designed to keep the bad guys out. KPRC2 investigator Bill Spencer walks us through 4 options, including how they perform and how much they cost.
They're having a shooting at the high school, have an officer down.
What happened in Uvalde was a horrific act of evil.
He had a loaded firearm and he was coming down the hall.
So much senseless violence. So much fear.
Student video of the chaos shows a teacher barring the door.
So much pain.
Why weren't the school doors locked with chains?
Now, KPRC2 Investigates is testing out 4 different door blocking devices, all designed to keep the bad guys out of your child's classroom. And we're doing it with a team of experts, including Jim Napolitano, former U.S. Secret Service agent and protector of 4 different presidents, Dr. Jamie White, principal at the Harmony School of Excellence, Sugar Land Middle School, and Jennifer Sabin, director of student safety. At the Harmony schools, students regularly practice active shooter drills throughout the entire year.
It's my priority to make sure that our students, our staff, and the parents feel safe.
And we'll be testing these security devices on actual Harmony classroom doors. Our first device, it's the Securidor Heavy-Duty Security Door Bar. Price tag, $99.
It looks pretty hefty. First thing you do is you want to adjust the height of the brace.
Now, normally a teacher would have already done this before the school year even started and have this device waiting by the classroom door.
Now you slap this thing into place, hit the top handle, kick the foot plate, and it should be ready to go. Now with the Securidor in place, we're going to have Jim Napolitano try to force this door open.
The Securidor starts to give a little, and then...
Oh, wow.
But then we realized the instructions were so confusing, we actually put the thing together the wrong way.
It actually goes in this way.
So we make it right and try it all over again.
Now with the secure door put together the right way and in place, I'm going to try to pop this door open. It's not happening.
So what does our team think of the Securador?
Under high duress, this wouldn't work for us because there's too much technicality that must go into this.
Next up, it's the sleeve from Fighting Chance Solutions, price tag $89.99.
This is called the sleeve. It was designed by a group of teachers actually in Muscatine, Iowa. It should be placed with the label facing out at the classroom, and what you do with it is slide it up here and make sure it's snugly into place. Now we're going to find out if Jim can force his way in here. By the way, this device is for doors that open out, not in.
And yes, the sleeve holds up. Jim just can't open that door. And the reaction?
I think it did an effective job of keeping them out, but my worry is short people like me may not be able to get it on as quickly as you did.
Dr. White, what do you think of the sleeve?
Well, most of our doors in the main building open inward, so this one worked for me.
Next, it's the Defender high security door lock. Price tag here, $15 to $20.
This one does require some installation, but very, very simple. Simply fits inside the door jamb just like that, and you're going to drill 3 holes.
The installation takes 10 minutes, a drill, and a screwdriver.
Now, with the Defender in place, we simply close the classroom door, flip this over, and lock it into place. And now we're going to find out if Jim Napolitano can breach this door.
It's not budging at all. There is nothing. No.
What did you think of this one?
Well, this particular device, I think it is wonderful, and I'm ready to order one for every classroom in the building.
Finally, we have the Fighting Chance Solutions Rampart door blocker. Much like the device we showed you earlier, you simply measure it and extend it out, and then place this pin to lock it. And now you simply take this end, stuff it underneath the door handle, give the bottom plate a kick, and you're ready to go.
I'm going to try to open this door now. Again, it's budging a little bit, but not letting me get anywhere past the door jamb.
And the verdict on this final device?
It was easy to use, it was effective, there was very little door movement, and it seemed to work much better than the other one with the same mechanisms.
Now, it's also important to note that all of these door blocking devices can also be used on the doors at your home as well, with the possible exception of this unit called the sleeve, which is really more built for commercial doors that swing out, not in the doors with those fancy V-shaped hinges at the top of the door. But if you have one of those at your house, you could use this thing as well. I also want to thank the Harmony Schools for all of their help in putting this very important story together for you. I'm Bill Spencer. KPRC 2 investigates.
Still ahead, let's talk about health. That includes risks and alerts for physical well-being.
We believe that those are what the body is not used to and is upsetting the body's systems.
As well as the signs to watch for with your students' mental health.
Plus, as school begins, we're seeing the rise of artificial intelligence.
We're making, in some cases, life decisions.
But families are wondering, is it a help or a hindrance? We'll take a look when Classroom Ready returns.
Well, part of getting your students classroom ready includes keeping them healthy, and that's physically, mentally, and emotionally.
And as we all know, the heat has been intense as student athletes practice. And while the heat is a health threat, medical experts are growing more concerned about a popular energy drink that could push them over the edge because of the amount of caffeine in them.
This drink is called Prime. I'm sure you've heard of it or seen it at least. The KPRC2 health reporter Haley Hernandez shows us how this drink can potentially be harmful for your children.
Energy drinks and coronary arteries, which supply the heart with blood, were packed full of blood clot.
Wow. The marketing of some drinks leads to confusion as to whether they're healthy or harmful.
I actually found out about this in a gym and got hooked ever since.
Cardiologist at LBJ Hospital, Dr. John Higgins, has conducted studies on energy drinks and the chemicals inside.
Caffeine by itself is generally not considered dangerous for adults, but when you mix it with these other stimulants, especially in high levels, Haley, we believe that those are what the body is not used to and is upsetting the body's systems.
The biggest offender, according to Higgins, is Prime energy drinks, made popular by YouTube influencer Logan Paul.
60 calories versus 10 calories. Ooh, 30.
But Dr. Higgins says don't buy it.
The thing that bothers me most about Prime is the very, very high caffeine level in a small can.
That's especially dangerous right now. Hot temperatures and energy drinks don't mix. Higgins worries about students returning to school sports and outdoor activities.
The caffeine will dehydrate and the high sugar will dehydrate you. So this is a toxic combination in that if you're doing both of these, you will feel worse, your heart rate and blood pressure will go up worse, and you will get dehydrated quicker. You could actually run into some serious sort of problem with potentially even something as bad as a heart attack, stroke, or another blood vessel occlusion from the combination of all of those components.
And if you buy the hydration sports drink version of Prime, Dr. Higgins says it still contains similar ingredients as the energy drink. So he says the safest option for students spending time outside is water. And these drinks need more study.
We don't have the evidence right now that these, in fact, do give you more energy.
And lawmakers agree. Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on the Food and Drug Administration to investigate this popular drink. I talked to the American Beverage Association about this, and they tell me they don't represent Prime, but they do discourage marketing energy drinks to children under 12. And they do claim that most energy drinks contain significantly less caffeine than a similarly sized coffee. Dr. Higgins said it might not be the caffeine alone that's dangerous. It's the combination of caffeine and the stimulants inside of energy drinks. I'm health reporter Haley Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
Well, teen mental health is a growing crisis in the state of Texas, but there are early warning signs to watch out for. And families are learning how to spot them through a training program called Youth Mental Health First Aid. KPRC 2's Andy Sirota shows us how districts in your area are using it to help teens with mental health challenges.
From unrealistic academic expectations to the pressures of portraying the perfect life on social media, teens today are overloaded with stress, and in many cases, it's leading to significant and serious mental health struggles.
There is probably a lot of interaction that goes on between kids that we don't get to see.
Rainey Gibbs is a mom of 2, an 11 and 13-year-old.
When you have kids, you're always looking for ways to understand them better.
Youth Mental Health First Aid is an 8-hour training course designed to teach everyone from educators and school staff to parents, coaches, and youth group leaders how to better understand the unique risk factors and triggers to watch out for.
We have more kids struggling with suicide and depression and self-harming in 4th and 5th grade now.
Fort Bend ISD is among the Houston area school districts offering the training to its educators.
And it's really important to understand where our kids are coming from and to understand their experiences.
They're taught to apply a 5-step plan that includes assessing for the risk of suicide or harm, to listen objectively, give reassurance, and to encourage appropriate professional and self-help.
But to have someone who's maybe, objective and who can really listen, they can feel more comfortable with expressing what they're feeling inside.
According to a 2017 assessment from Harris County Mental Health Services for Children, Youth, and Families, every year nearly 310,000 children and youth in the county suffer from some form of mental health disorder. A recent study ranked Texas as the worst state for mental health care in the U.S. It's why programs like Youth Mental Health First Aid are becoming so critical in supporting teens who may be coping with an emotional crisis and don't know where to turn to, while helping them to overcome the stigma of their condition.
Like anything that you can do to intervene earlier for children is definitely a plus.
Andy Sirota, KPRC 2 News.
All right, let's talk about bullying. It's an issue at all ages and grades. All school districts have to deal with it, and if it's left unchecked, bullying behavior can lead to suicide or other mental and emotional struggles. But there are laws in place to help families struggling with bullying. KPRC2's Sophia Ojeda has the resources families should know about.
Well, she loved Billie Eilish, but she was very artistic. She loved to draw. and she wanted to be a model.
Mom Serena Sharp shared pictures and memories with us of her 14-year-old daughter, Lillian Medina. She said Lily was fun, outgoing, had a very unique sense of fashion, and a heart of gold.
You could tell that she loved who she was inside and out, and she always put everybody else's happiness first.
But Lily's demeanor started to change last December. She says that's when she started dealing with several bullies at her school.
I think something's wrong. She's not wanting to go to school. She is acting out at home. She's crying spontaneously.
Sharp says she went back and forth with the school about several confrontations, including online social media messages. She says the school did not help stop the bullying.
The fact of the matter is what are you guys doing to stop this? Well, we can't discuss that with you either, is what they said.
Sharp says the bullying intensified. Then Lillian died by suicide.
And I think about that all the time because no one did notice her. No one heard her. She was hurting, but no one listened. No one did anything.
We did reach out to Barbers Hill ISD for a statement, but we have not yet heard back. So what can you do if you feel your school is not intervening? There's a law in place that provides guidance. It's called David's Law, named for 16-year-old David Molak, a San Antonio teen who died by suicide after he was relentlessly bullied online. David's Law now requires school districts to have a policy on reporting cyberbullying and reporting it to parents. It allows off-campus investigations if it affects the child in school. And it makes cyberbullying a crime if the victim is under 18 or the intent is to get the victim to die by suicide. We have posted these resources on clicktohouston.com. I'm Sophia Ojeda, KPRC 2 News.
Artificial intelligence and ChatGPT is the center of the conversation as students return to the classroom.
But it turns out the AI program can also help parents. Coming up, the warnings you need to know about. Artificial intelligence is a growing part of our lives.
And we can use it to play music, control home appliances, or even help us drive safer. And as the technology develops, well, it may change parenthood as we know it.
But there are some risks that come with it. KPRC2 anchor Sophia Ojeda shows us how to understand those risks while harnessing the power of AI to get everything done.
How I use ChatGPT.
How to use ChatGPT, Mom Hacks Edition. It's pretty much everywhere you look. But say they have tapped into the world of artificial intelligence to help with everyday tasks to save time. So here's how you can harness the new app, ChatGPT. Just type in what you want. Don't be afraid to be specific. We typed in, give me a weekly meal plan for a family of 4 with a toddler. Add greens. The app will automate an entire week's worth of meal plans you can try. You can modify any way you want for a family of 5 or fewer, and if you want to add more protein or carbs, depending on your family's needs. Another command you can type in, please give me weather-appropriate activities for my toddler. And a whole list of activities pops up. You can also create a weekly cleaning schedule. Deep clean a bathroom once a week. It will tell you exactly which rooms to clean and how often. And you can also ask about your child's symptoms when they're sick. What does a 101 fever with a stomach ache in a toddler mean? Just to get a better idea of what you might be dealing with. Of course, with any new technology comes a warning. Be careful, be vigilant. A big part of ChatGPT, experts say, is that all the information you get may not be accurate.
We're making, in some cases, life decisions. You'll make a decision on which mortgage to go with. You'll make a decision on which insurance to go with. You'll make decisions on what school your child should go to. Understanding the difference between fact and potential fiction, even though fact is presented in a confident manner. Are you going to make those decisions by further investigating that information, or are you going to take it for what it appears on its surface?
Sophia Ojeda, KPRC 2 News.
So right when you join the app, there are several warnings that say may occasionally generate inaccurate information and may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content.
Well, ChatGPT is also using your information to train its bots. Experts add, always check with a professional and do your own research.
Coming up next, we are sitting down with leaders from 3 local districts to get their advice on how families can get classroom ready so they can thrive this year.
And you still have a few minutes to get your questions in. Just scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, in our quest to get you classroom ready, we are pulling in the experts here. Joining us now are the superintendents from 3 of our local school districts.
We have Dr. Christy Whitbeck, who leads Fort Bend ISD. Dr. Anthony Mays is the head of Alief ISD, and Stephen McCandless is the superintendent of Cleveland ISD, one of the fastest growing districts in the state. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, and we invited officials from HISD to join us. We do want to mention this to discuss this as well, but they declined. So we are moving on to what matters, and we have our great panel here to discuss some of the big topics that parents are seeing right now, and students and teachers as well. We want to start off by asking you a little bit about bullying, because this is something that I think everyone experiences at some point, no matter what grade, no matter what age. What should parents know about keeping an eye out or looking out for, and what kind of questions should they be asking the school districts in order to get that help? We can start with Fort Bend.
Sure. First of all, I think monitor closely, and with cyberbullying and some of the things we see more now, I would say monitor the technology. Sometimes parents are a little timid to do that, but I always tell them you're paying for it. Let it charge in a central place. Monitor, because that will tell you a lot about what your child might be receiving, or even worse, what your child might be sending. Right. And that can help. And I think just monitor, ask questions, and then if you see something or hear something, notify the school immediately.
Okay.
And the same in Cleveland ISD, we want parents to be involved and monitor the social media and ask their children, how was your day, what's going on, anything bothering you, to be aware. And, let their children open up to them and share with them anything that may be stressing them out at school, whether it's a classmate or someone else in the school, because we rely on parents to give us information.
Well, we heard in one of the stories that a parent did reach out to the school district, and the school district did nothing, according to this parent. So who do we contact, and what do we say in order to get your attention and to get action to do something about it, to keep our kids safe?
Yeah, I think the first line of contact is, whoever that student is comfortable with, right? They're interacting with their teacher on a day-to-day basis, but all campuses should have a protocol where it's like, hey, if a bullying situation or instance is reported to you, you can seek help from administrators or a counseling team to be able to intervene. I would believe and like to hope that on all of our campuses that all of our parents, if they had an outcry, would get some help. But those are the protocols that you typically would follow.
Okay. I have a question that actually was my question that I was looking at earlier, and I know the state, there was a certain amount of money that a lot of school districts were expecting from the state. That didn't materialize. So the question is, how is that impacting what you're doing in your district and how you can pay your teachers? I know it's a big question, but we don't have an whole day, but I know.
In a humongous magnitude, it's impacting. The money that we've gotten so far is earmarked. We've gotten some money for safety, and we've gotten some money for instructional materials, and we did get a little bit on what they call the golden penny. So, but as far as it helping us with inflation or special ed or teachers, salaries to any kind of an extent, it hasn't happened. We're hopeful because the legislators can convene and they have earmarked some money for public education. It just hasn't been decided yet.
So what do you do for those teachers who may have been expecting a little boost, and certainly a lot of them have?
They were watching the news all summer as well as we. And when we saw the legislature didn't do anything, Cleveland ISD said we have to move forward and do what's best for our staff And our board voted earlier in the summer to move forward with a raise for our staff and to raise our starting pay to the $61,000. And it lets staff know that we are invested in them and we want them. We want to retain staff. And we look forward to TEA, the legislature, helping us in the future, but we cannot sit back and wait on that. We have to take care of our district today.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment. I tell our team we aren't victims, and so while we would like for our state to step up and lead the way, we still had to use that golden penny to try to provide a raise for our team too.
When I take my middle schooler to her orientation, they went through a list of expectations for technology, and that's something we didn't have to deal with when we were going to school. But teachers have it a little bit more difficult now to monitor and to set the rules of if they can bring in classroom use and all those types of things. For parents to know, what type of monitoring do you have in place for the school? Like what's allowed, what's not allowed? And then how are you protecting your teachers? Because we've done stories about some students assaulting their teachers for taking away their cell phones. So these are things, brand new things, as technology develops that you're having to deal with as a district.
Yeah.
The first part, the technology, is it, can you remind me exactly how you said it
Sorry,
again?
that was a very long question, but I'm a parent, I have all these questions too. You know, just the rules of technology and cell phones, like should we let the kids take it to school? And if so, like what rules in place do you have and how do you protect your teachers?
First of all, on our district devices, and we have, you know, a lot of one-to-one and we have devices everywhere. We have code words and keywords. We have a complete kind of behind-the-scenes monitoring, and it will flag our district officials if the word suicide is used or any kind of threatening type word. It'll flag that to our administration. And so we do have those safeguards in place. And then, of course, I can let my colleagues speak, but of course we have strong discipline for the types of other things.
Devices.
I go back to what Dr. Whitbeck said initially, like we do need families and parents to help, right? Most parents often think that it's an encroachment to, like you said, monitor that device, but the best thing that we can do to keep our kids safe is to actually monitor the device, you know, I mean, because we have to be proactive versus reactive in discovering some of the threats that, as you look at it, will be clear before a student that may be a little, you know, new to that device and new to the digital atmosphere. They may not see it as a threat, but you all would see it really quickly.
Oh yes, and you know, personal devices and cell phones, they are attached to students in today's time, and we recognize that, and they can be a disruption in the classroom as well. So our teachers let students know when they can use them, if they're doing research in English or in science or in math, and when they need to be put away. And then our district firewalls through our IT department to ensure, you know, we have a guest network that you can get on to ensure that they're not accessing something on their phone that would bring something harmful into our infrastructure and network.
What kind of things would you want the parents and the students who are coming into your school districts, what are the most important things that they should keep in mind as they're starting the school year?
Well, I think in Fort Bend, we're starting with a kind of a district-wide theme of choose to care. And, you know, to really instill in people the character, the goodness of taking care of each other and having that in your home, filtering that into the school system. We're really going to be acknowledging that everywhere we see that. So I think it starts with that, and then with our teachers, the relationships they build with kids. That's one way we stop the bullying and things like that, is by having strong relationships. So to me, it's the parent should ask, what is my relationship with my child? Can we do better? And if the answer is yes, then start to think about that. How is quality time? Do you put the technology away at dinner? Are you doing the things to build the relationship? Because I think it starts there. And are you encouraging kindness to others?
Got a minute left.
Yes. Building the strong school-to-home relationships and letting parents know that they are a vital part of the success in school districts each and every day. We need them involved. We need them to be on our committees and on our volunteer teams and up and, you know, working with us. But they, you know, that reciprocating relationship with the school district and the campus, it is so crucial and so vital. And I echo what Christy said, you know, when she spoke.
Yeah, I think for A-Leaf, we pride ourselves on providing a family atmosphere. And so it really is about supporting each other. You know, I think on the heels of COVID, everybody's relearning how to empathize and take care of one another, right? Because you operated in a lot of isolation. And so we're really focused on creating a community environment, creating community opportunities for people to come out, engage, and be a part of a family. And when we say a family, we're talking about A-Leaf ISD.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you've already started school, so you've had a very long day, and we very much appreciate you being here and you know, just answering all these questions that our viewers may have. It's overwhelming and it's stressful to get everyone back on track and back at school. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Hey,
Either way, school supplies are going to take a chunk out of your budget, but they don't have to break the bank, especially if you are shopping smart. We'll show you how.
Plus, as the school year starts, high school seniors are looking forward to the next chapter, college. What families should be doing now to get their students ready. Those stories and more when Classroom Ready continues. Welcome back. Now let's take a look at your finances. With inflation driving up prices, shopping for back-to-school essentials has been a bigger struggle for families this year. The statewide sales tax holiday could help ease part of that burden. It runs from 12:01 a.m. tomorrow through 11:59 Sunday night. Qualified items include clothing, shoes, school supplies, and backpacks. Now, in order to qualify, items must be priced less than $100. You can do your shopping in-store or online, but if you do buy online, shipping charges are part of the item's price. So if you buy something that's $95 with a $10 shipping charge, you'd be taxed for the entire $105. Second, if you're buying online, you have to enter your payment information before the tax holiday ends Sunday at 11:59 p.m. You'll get the exemption even if your item won't arrive until later.
Great opportunity to save some money. All right, the new school year is an expensive time for many families, especially those already struggling to pay the bills. But there is a relatively new way to get items your students need and pay them over time. KPRC2 investigator Bill Spencer looks at how to use buy now, pay later plans the right way.
It's just days till the start of school for Brittany Goodwin and her 3 children, 5-year-old Riley, 16-year-old Mackenzie, and 7-year-old Connor.
Riley, we're gonna need to find something for you to wear for the first day of school.
And Brittany can already tell she's going to have to spend a lot on new clothes that fit and school supplies of all kinds.
It is probably the most stressful time, you know, with trying to get everything for each of my 3 kids. It can be really expensive.
And that is pushing Brittany to consider for the first time doing what nearly 78 million Americans are already doing, using one of those buy now, pay later plans. That's 30% of the population using plans like Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, PayPal, Sezzle, and Zip.
My daughter, you know, she's getting into high school, so they need TI-83 calculators and, you know, just things that really can be expensive at times, and just trying to find whatever we can to make it as cost effective.
The most popular BNPL plans are called Pay in 4, where your purchase is divided into 4 equal payments. So if you buy a $400 computer, you make the first payment of $100 at checkout, online or at the store, with the remaining 3 $100 payments due every 2 weeks for the next 6 weeks. If you pay on time, there's no interest and no fees. But missing payments or paying late can result in big interest fees. Longer-term BNPL plans that allow you to pay over 6, 12, or 24 months can come with interest rates as high as 36%.
In some cases, buy now, pay later can be more effective than a credit card if you're looking to avoid interest or fees, but you have to make sure that you're able to pay it off on time in order to be able to get those benefits.
It's nice that we have all this technology to make our lives easier, but it also can get us spending into a hole.
Look at that. Richard Rosso is a top certified financial advisor who manages millions for his clients, and he warns back-to-school shoppers not to open too many of these BNPL loans at one time.
If I have multiple of these buy now, pay later apps, I'm like wrangling cats with big interest charges.
Okay, so what's the best way to use buy now, pay later plans like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, and others to buy what your kids need to go back to school? The financial experts I've talked to say try to buy everything, all of the new school clothes, all of the new school supplies at just one department store if possible. Think Target, Walmart, Kohl's, and the like. That way, you'll keep it to just one big purchase and just one big buy now, pay later bill that you can easily keep track of and pay on time, thereby avoiding having to pay interest or late fees.
What do you think about these jeans?
As for Brittany, she expects to spend well over $600 on back to school. So she's already reading up on different BNPL plans. Her only fear, opening up too many of them.
It'll add up and it could come back to bite you.
It does happen. In fact, according to LendingTree, a whopping 42% of buy now, pay later users admit that they have missed payments. To help you avoid that, I have two more important tips. One, try to set up your BNPL payment dates for the day after you get paid, so you have plenty of money in the bank to cover the bill. And number two, set up email and text alert reminders for the days that those payments are due. I'm Bill Spencer. KPRC2 investigates.
Good advice for sure. Hey, it is an exciting year for seniors, but it's also time to look ahead to the next chapter in their lives, and that's college. Our Kathy Hernandez shows us how seniors should be preparing right now.
College applications, financial aid applications, essays, and resumes. Applying for college can be stressful, especially when you're trying to enjoy your senior year. But even before classes begin, it's not too soon. Deadlines will be fast approaching.
When I'm dancing, I feel like I'm just like a whole new person. I just feel like confident and all that stuff on stage, and I just love it. It's always just been kind of my place where I felt me.
When she's not in school, Maylee Hogue spends most of her spare time at dance practice, performances, or competitions. Now, a senior at Episcopal High School, Maylee's planning for her next step, college.
But I also want to just go explore, go somewhere new, go somewhere different than Texas of what I'm used to.
But getting into college is a tough process for all seniors.
It's so stressful because it's like there's so much to do. I've been going to a lot of workshops and we work on our essays. I already have one essay written, but still writing some more, studying for ACT, SAT, getting ready for everything before the school year.
There's a lot to do, and the deadlines will be here before Maylee and her mom even know it.
The process is very stressful. There's a lot of pressure on both parents and students.
Carla Barkis is the founder of K Scholastic, a tutoring services company started in 2012. She's also created a helpful guide for parents and students to stay on track for the application process.
The first thing you want to do is narrow down your list of schools that you're interested in. You want to pick anywhere between 4 and 15 schools that you want to apply to.
She says separate the schools in 3 categories.
You want to have your safety schools, the schools that you're pretty sure you can get into, your target schools, and target schools are schools that are admitting students with similar stats as yourself. And then you also want to have reach schools. And for the reach schools, you think there's a lower chance of getting in, but you never know what could happen. So you definitely want to have a mix of all 3.
Barkis says next, start drafting your personal essays.
You want to showcase who you are, your personality. You want to have somebody proofread the essays once you draft something. And that could be either an English teacher, a guidance counselor, or you could use services like ours.
She says there's still time to add to your resume.
If you're not involved in clubs, you want to join some clubs, you want to also do some volunteer work. That looks great on a resume.
Barkis says begin collecting your recommendation letters and make a timeline with due dates and deadlines.
If you have an organized timeline, it's going to make your life easier.
Many students are now using the Common App. It's a place where they can learn about and apply to hundreds of colleges, get information about financial aid and other resources.
But I'm not sure if there would be a comma there.
As for Maylee, she's jumped right in and has even used this time to grow.
I think that's great because it gives them accountability. It puts them invested into the school that they're going to, and it teaches them how to be independent, which is important at this stage in their life.
Maylee hopes her work now can ease her stress during her senior year.
I feel like you want to be able to enjoy senior year more rather than stressing about last minute application, last minute essay, all that. So it's good to get started early.
Marcus says seniors have one more chance to take their SAT and ACT this fall semester. But you may not know some colleges are test optional. Also, it's very important to sit down as a family to figure out your financial situation. Do you need to apply for financial aid, loans, or scholarships? How are you paying for college? It's time to start thinking about it and take your future into your own hands. Kathy Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
Great information. All right, still to come, the battle over books. We are taking you to a local community's Little Band Book Library. Find out what their mission is and how families are reacting.
Well, heading into the school year, there's been a lot of conversation around books and which ones are appropriate for children. Yeah, you've seen it all.
That's right. Banning books isn't anything new, but the number of books being banned nationwide is new.
Texas leads the nation in the number of banned books. As students head back to class, KPRC 2's Zach Lashway shows us how one local community is ensuring access to individual choice.
Books behind bars.
First-degree censorship.
Acting warden of Little Band Library is librarian Jennifer Clements.
Why stand by and watch it happen?
Consider Little Band Library a cuffed little free library.
Take a book, they can leave a book, and we just ask that they return it.
This adaptation contains banned books of subject matter focused on race, racism, female rights, and LGBTQ issues. Titles available at Little Band Library is ever-changing, but includes To Kill a Mockingbird, 1984, The Color Purple, The Catcher in the Rye, and The Giving Tree.
And the tree was happy. The end.
The library lockup is located at Heights Boulevard and 11th Street.
I have a friend whose mom is a teacher, and she just sends me her list. Every time a book gets banned, she immediately sends it to me, and then we order the book. My message is that this is a red herring, so that we don't have to talk about the real danger in schools to children, which is guns.
Around the same time, House Bill 900 goes into effect on September 1st. This law regulates and establishes new standards for reading material at public school libraries. Book vendors will assign ratings to books based on sexual references. Depending on the level of the rating, a child might need parental consent to check out the book, or the book could be banned and removed from bookshelves.
An effort to really suppress free speech.
Casey Meehan is Freedom to Read program director at PEN America, a national nonprofit organization that defends and celebrates free expression through literature.
We're constantly pushing up against this idea that there's obscene material in schools or pornography in schools, and by no definition of those terms is that the case.
Texas leads the nation on books banned. Who is challenging these books?
Sometimes it can be individuals in the district, in the school district, or in the community that are challenging books. And increasingly, though, we also see the role of legislation influencing what books are available.
I reached out to the governor's office several times. I have not heard back. I also reached out to local school districts regarding banned books in their schools. Katy ISD has removed 16 books since 2021, 8 of them within the past year. Fort Bend ISD says it removed 1 book from its collection. For more responses from local districts, look for this article inside this story on our website, clicktohouston.com. I'm Zach Lashway, KPRC 2 News.
This has all been very interesting to me. You know, my kids have long been out of school, so I'm learning all of this going on. I know that you have kids in school now, so this has been very helpful to you.
I have a 2nd grader and a 7th grader, all in with different challenges that we're seeing. And so I have to adapt and try to learn, and you learn as you go, and you lean on the school districts, you lean on other parents for ideas and how to do things. But my hope is it will get easier, does it?
It does get easier, a lot,
Good.
a lot. Hey, we hope that we've given you a lot to think about this hour as you and your family navigate the new school year, but the journey doesn't really stop here.
It doesn't, and we are here to walk you through all of it. We're going to walk through it together. The KPRC2 team is dedicated to bringing you content on air on KPRC2 Plus and on clicktohouston.com on our website for the next several weeks.
From our family to yours, we wish your students a safe and successful school year.
That's right. We will see you back tonight at 10 o'clock. See you then.